Welcome back to the Poon Report. Anxiety is all around. Erica Poon finds it can sometimes be a symptom of depression or a phobia.
Michelle and Matt are from the States.
Matt and I were married in July of 2010, and we moved to Hong Kong in September. We moved here for Matthew's job. He is a lawyer. We love Hong Kong. It's been a great adventure for us.
Michelle was pregnant in August 2011.
I had a really easy pregnancy. I wasn't sick. I felt really healthy and good most of the time. So the actual birth wasn't as enjoyable as the pregnancy. My water broke, but it was a slow leak, and so the doctor had encouraged me to wait to see if contractions could start naturally because I wanted to deliver without drugs. After 24 hours of that, I had never started contractions, so they induced labor. For 15 hours I was on oxytocin, but I never dilated any further or progressed from when they started that. So after 39 hours, after my water first broke, they took my baby via C-section.
Simon was born on May 31st, 2012.
When Simon was 10 days old, my C-section incision reopened. It became infected and reopened about 3 inches long. So I was rehospitalized for 3 days while they kind of contained the infection. That was a time where I was separated from him. They released me, but on the condition that I had to return on a daily basis to have the infection cleaned and then the wound redressed. And it closed just before he was 3 months old. He is really great baby. We're really, really lucky. He's just very happy and very bubbly. He's a really good eater and sleeper. Immediately after he was born and when I was visiting the doctor regularly, I was just kind of in this, we have to get better mode, so I can take care of him. And I think that once I was well physically, I felt like a big crash, basically, when it just kind of all settled on me about what I had been through. And in some ways, even today, I still even though I know that everything that was done that could be done to help him arrive here and help both of us actually still be well, I think I do feel a lot of sadness that his arrival wasn't more typical or what most people would expect to experience. Good. I also feel a little bit of guilt because I feel like that I failed kind of him on giving him that natural entry into the world.
Michelle developed postnatal depression.
For some women, it's within the first week or two. For others, it can be a couple months later. Usually sadness. A lot of women feel very overwhelmed. And then you do get other things like anxiety that come through as well.
I could just end up in a heap crying, or I could end up really angry, or I could end up really feeling anxious about something, a problem I couldn't solve. Like he crawled at 9 or 10 months. It's not unheard of. I would make sure I gave him lots of tummy time, and I would teach him, like I'd move a leg and move an arm, and we'd practice and practice and practice, and I'd worry about it. Sometimes it made me just withdraw and just be like, well, I'm not doing the right thing, like I don't know what to do.
More often than not, I think she kept the feelings buried a little bit deeper. One of the common things that could be a trigger was when people would talk to her about the delivery or talk to her about the infection that followed.
I notice a tendency to withdraw when I start to feel really angry or sad. So that makes it difficult for me to draw closer or deepen or strengthen relationships with people. My family, my husband, some of my friends know. They've been really encouraging me seeking help, and with the different avenues I've tried, they are really patient and forgiving when I do withdraw or when I do suddenly have this erratic display of intense emotions.
It was difficult because even though we would talk about it and I tried to understand, I couldn't understand. I hadn't been through any of that. I think one of the key things is just listening and patience. If I didn't try and have extra patience, I would take her lashing out about something as being something that I did.
There are definite risk factors for postnatal depression, a family history of depressions.
Michelle's mom suffered from postnatal depression.
And the other big thing we see if people don't want a baby, it was an unplanned pregnancy, if there's something wrong with the baby, or if there's been a traumatic pregnancy or childbirth.
Michelle saw a psychiatrist for 4 months, then turned to homeopathy starting this March.
The guy who invented homeopathy lived in Germany at the end of the 1700s.
Samuel Hahnemann.
So he found out if he diluted substances and he gave them to healthy people, it produced certain symptoms. If he then gave that same remedy in the dilution to a person with those symptoms, it like cures like. So I started off with a remedy called Ignatia, a homeopathic remedy which is very much often for grief, because it's actually a plant. And then later on we moved to a different remedy called sepia to sort of try and address more of the sadness and the anger that's come through. The original substance is cuttlefish ink.
Homeopathy, okay. It's not our area of expertise. And whether to use that or not, I think the customers or the clients should really look at the evidence base or the number of studies supporting those use.
It's a very controversial treatment out there. A lot of people are like, oh, homeopathy doesn't work and there's nothing in it. But the results that I see on a daily basis in practice, from treating 6-day-olds to treating 80-year-olds, you see results where you see with no other type of medicine.
I do feel that for the most part, the waves or like the sudden swells of like anger or sadness are lessened. Yeah. It's more, I'm more even more of the time. We would love to have another baby. Simon is such a wonderful baby. It's definitely worth every bit of what we've experienced.
17-year-old Fa.
I wake up at 6:30, go to school at 8. In Form 6, there are more exams. Every night I don't sleep until 12 or 1 in the morning.
Earlier this year, a study by Baptist Oikwan Social Service found 1 in 4 secondary school students have moderate to severe anxiety symptoms and are at risk of having an anxiety disorder.
If you are suffering from a very high academic pressure, you actually increase your risk to have anxiety disorders.
In biology class, we watched a lot of films about the human body. I'm naturally scared of watching these things, so when I saw scenes related to swallowing, I had this feeling of terror.
Fa developed a phobia of choking. A phobia is a type of anxiety disorder.
When we say specific phobia, we are saying a person is really fear of a particular situation or particular things. People in that situation will experience very intense anxiety, and they would try to avoid the situation as well.
Fa's dread of choking affected her food consumption.
I basically ate congee every day. Even finishing a bowl of congee took an hour. At first, I was reluctant to see the doctor because I'm afraid of taking medicine, and it made me feel I was really sick. Then, because I wasn't eating much, my friends said I lost a lot of weight. Moreover, my mom became increasingly worried and sought help from a social worker.
Fa's social worker referred her to a psychologist.
She wanted me to bring my lunch every time I saw her, and she timed my eating. Before and after eating, she'd ask how scared I am. When I couldn't eat anymore, she would encourage me to continue eating. Slowly, my eating situation improved. I started eating rice and noodles.
To overcome the anxiety, we actually need to face the situation, and then we need to experience that we can cope with the anxiety, and it's okay, and it's safe to be in that situation.
Now, when I and my schoolmates order takeaway or buy noodles at the kiosk, it takes me 20 to 30 minutes to eat it. Once I almost finished a lunch box. My friends said it was the first time they'd seen me eat so much. They were all very excited. It made me feel I was making progress.
Well, thank you for watching our show. It will be re-aired on Tuesday and Saturday, as well as on tvb.com. Until next time, from the Pearl Report team, good night, good luck, and good health.